So I was planning this trade show for Mother's Day. We had 30 vendors sign up and pay. And then same thing, COVID happened. Yeah. So we had to I postponed it a couple months, and then it came to the point where it's I might as well just refund everybody's money because I don't know when we'll be able to have this. So it was just a lot of, just trying a bunch of different things. Yep. And that's what kind of led into Arizona Entrepreneurs because like I said, that was in March. So it was as we were transitioning from a business, and I had the Instagram page going, and it started to get some traction. And then that's when I kind of had that paradigm shift and realized that I could turn this into this was a feasible business.
On today's episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat, we talked to Devin from EIC Entrepreneurs. Talk about how he's creating a community of like-minded people right here in the Valley so we can learn and grow together. Let's dive right in. So Devin, thank you so much for joining on another episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat. I'm excited for this because, we're all about Arizona entrepreneurs, and you are too. So before we kind of get into what you're doing now, I'd love to hear more about who you are, what your path to entrepreneurship has looked like, and just kind of get to know you a little bit more. So
definitely. So I appreciate you having me on this podcast. I'm super appreciative of being able to kind of share my story, my message, and hopefully it could help someone out. So as far as my story, I grew up in Michigan. I moved here to Arizona about a year and a half ago. And really, I didn't start to develop that entrepreneur mindset until about sophomore year of college. So football was my passion growing up. Football is all I really cared about going through high school. And then I played college football. And it wasn't until my sophomore year, I had a knee injury. And, it was the first time that I kind of came to reality and had to think that, football might not last forever. So it was the first time that I actually started to think about my professional life. And I read the book. I know so many entrepreneurs have the same story, but I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Mm-hmm. And that book completely changed my life. It just changed the way that I thought about, one day-to-day life, but really financial intelligence. And it really just taught me a lot of things and opened my eyes to some things. So after that, I just started doing a lot of personal development, reading books, listening to podcasts. And I really realized that entrepreneurship was something I was truly passionate about and the route I wanted to take. So moved here, like I said, about a year and a half ago, and started several different businesses, which we could dive more into, several different businesses, and not the majority of them did not pan out by any means. So, it was just, hustling, trying to make something work. And I'm glad that I went through those trials and tribulations and failed some businesses because it really taught me a lot, each one of those experiences. But right now what I'm doing is Arizona Entrepreneurs. So I started the Instagram page in March of 2020. And then I launched the membership, the Arizona Entrepreneurs membership, which is what the business is, on October 1st. So we're literally 3 months into this thing. But yeah, no, super exciting stuff. I truly feel like I found my passion, and it's one of the most fulfilling experiences in the world to be able to impact entrepreneurs. And, throughout my journey and going through those failures, it's very fulfilling to be able to help entrepreneurs throughout their journey. So I'm excited to dive more deep into it and share more with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So did football bring you out here? Did you play at ASU? Or?
No, so I graduated college in Michigan. So I played football in Michigan. Then I moved here. It's funny because I literally moved here a week after I graduated college. I was just so ready to get out of the cold weather, get out of Michigan. And as far as opportunities and what people are doing out here, I feel like there's so many people out here making big moves. So in Michigan, you might feel like the top dog, but when you come out here, it's man, I got to level up. So I really like being around people who are just hungry and people who are making big moves because it forces you to want to level up.
Yeah, it's interesting. So what made you choose Arizona over something like New York or California, where, there's a ton of tech happening, ton of headquarters and whatnot?
Honestly, that's a great question. I get asked that question quite often. And honestly, there's no perfect reason. So I came here to visit one of my good friends a couple months before I was graduating college. And I just really loved the culture out here. I loved what Arizona had to offer. The weather was obviously a no-brainer being from Michigan. So I called one of my buddies up who I was talking about moving with. I was like, dude, I'll sign the lease right now if you're down. And he's like, go ahead, just sign the lease. So we just figured we'd move here for a year. If we don't like it, we can move back to Michigan. So we're still here going on 2 years.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I'm an Arizona native, and I'm huge on, everyone's leaving New York and California, moving here. And I'm just big on the trend that Arizona's going to be the top state.
For sure.
No, that's awesome. So, going back to, you started a couple different businesses and had some fails, had some wins. What were some of those businesses and what was it like to kind of get them up and going? And as maybe the first one failed and you learn, what were some of those learnings to then translate into the next business opening?
For sure. So the first one that we started right when we moved here was a videography company.
Okay.
And so my business partner and I, we really had no background in videography.
Yeah.
So funny how we chose to start that type of business, but we just thought videography was a really cool way to express art. And we knew people who were making good money doing it. So we knew there was an opportunity there, and we figured we kind of just learn along the way.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a portfolio, so we were doing a bunch of free videos for companies out here, and they were decent.
Yeah.
They were decent videos, not good by any means. And so like after a while, we're like 3 months into the business, we have some free clients, like people we did videos for, and then we're like trying to go out and sell our services. And one, we weren't confident selling them because we didn't really feel that confident in the videos we were making. So it was, I don't know. We just really didn't have much of a background. It probably would have been smart at that time to bring on a videographer or someone that's their profession. But instead, we were kind of just trying to do it all ourselves. And it took us forever. Like, we didn't make any money doing it. Like, we were trying to get all these clients. And so we kind of just decided to pivot and try something different. But like I said, it was a great learning experience. We learned all about filing for LLCs, marketing, doing a bunch of different stuff. And we can make a decent video, like I said. So that helps with businesses today. But so then after that, my friend and I, my business partner, we met through a home improvement company. We were doing events marketing for that home improvement company. So we started a lead gen company for the home improvement industry. And like our main source of generating these leads was going to events and trade shows. That's like how we knew how to generate leads. So we essentially partnered up with like 3 to 4 companies out here in Arizona, home improvement companies. And then we would go to these events, trade shows, write a bunch of leads. And then, we had a either commission or a flat rate set up with these different companies. And that one worked decent. Like, we actually started to bring in some income. It wasn't profit, but we brought in some income. Exactly. We learned. So we had our first win there. And then what happened was like COVID happened and our strategy was events marketing. So we could have really pivoted and turned to online, but at the time it wasn't neither of our passions. We just really knew we knew that strategy as far as generating leads. So, and then another company I started throughout that time was, so we were going to events and trade shows. So I was like, might as well run the trade show. Like
I love it.
Yeah. So I was planning this trade show for Mother's Day. We had like 30 vendors sign up and pay. And then same thing, COVID happened. So we had to I postponed it a couple months, and then it came to the point where it's like, I might as well just refund everybody's money because I don't know when we'll be able to have this. So it was just a lot of, just trying a bunch of different things. Yep. And that's what kind of led into Arizona Entrepreneurs, because like I said, that was in March. So it was as we were transitioning from a business, and I had the Instagram page going, and it started to get some traction. And then that's when I kind of had that paradigm shift and realized that I could turn this into this was a feasible business. So
yeah, because I mean, it sounds like the timing is you had a couple businesses that started to get going, and then COVID hit.
Exactly.
And then the time that you mentioned you started the page in March, it correlates when COVID hit.
For sure.
And so was that pretty much the transition when kind of some of these other opportunities kind of closed down? And I'd love to hear more about what Arizona Entrepreneurs is, and maybe I'll ask my follow-up question there. So how did that kind of lead into, and what is Arizona Entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so it led into it because, like I said, we were in that transition phase between businesses. And so I had the Instagram page, and after a while, like after a couple of months, it started to get some traction because it's a very niche audience as far as entrepreneurs out here in Arizona. So people started reaching out. They want to connect with like-minded people. They want to grow their business. So I started to realize there were so many people that were in my shoes. Like when I was first trying to start out these businesses, that we had no guidance. We had like no resources. We were just going into everything blind, trying to figure it out. And in addition to that, we were new here. So we had no connections. We didn't know anybody. So I realized that people truly crave valuable connections, and they want to grow their business. So I started to realize that this was like a realistic business model. And so essentially what it is, to answer your question, is we started a membership community. So what it is right now is we offer like weekly masterminds. We offer accountability partners, a members only group chat, the Vault, which is like course modules. We're collaborating with different entrepreneurs to compile course modules, video content. And we're offering things. And ultimately, like, I'm not trying to position myself as the expert within this company. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm collaborating with entrepreneurs who have achieved that success to bring them on to teach the community. And then I'm really just facilitating the connections and bringing everybody together. So that's really our whole goal, is just to continue to bring on people to pour into this community and to teach everybody, strategies and things that work for their success in business. And then, just bringing people together to connect with like-minded people, because I feel like that's so important within entrepreneurship, because like me and my buddy, when we started those businesses, we had no positive reinforcement. It was just between us two, like bouncing these ideas off each other. But if you have a community of people, that's when, ideas start coming, you start meeting people, and it just, helps make that path clear. So.
Yeah, no, I love that, because that's what my question was going to be. It sounds like you were, you had the entrepreneur mindset, you were hustling, trying to create different businesses, and that what Arizona Entrepreneurs is, it's exactly what I envisioned. It's a group of like-minded people. It's a community that kind of help give direction. And did you kind of accidentally create this because you were trying to find that direction as you were trying to create all these other things? And so it sounds like very much so.
100%. Yeah.
And one thing that's cool that I love what you're mentioning is that, you're acknowledging that you're early on into your, as an entrepreneur, that you're not trying to build this around that you're the expert or anything. It's bringing in experts and what they're an expert in. And then from that, leverage each other's knowledge.
For sure. That's 100%.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, how has it been trying to grow this? Cause I love what you're doing, because I think community is such a huge word right now. I think getting other people's perspective is huge, which that's essentially what you're doing within the group. I think just learning from each other expedites the knowledge that one can have, and it can grow their business quicker rather than trying to take 10 years to learn how to build it or how to get an LLC. What does a business checking account look like? So, I mean, what are some things that you've learned as you've been building this platform?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a huge learning experience for me, but I feel like, it took a while, like I said, to get that traction and to get that credibility. Because at first, when we got like 10 followers and like no posts, and we're trying to hit up all these big time entrepreneurs, they're ghosting us, So it definitely took a while to like try to build up the account. And like I've been referring to, Instagram was kind of our main strategy in the platform we use. So it was really just, working on providing valuable content and building that account, and then reaching out to bigger entrepreneurs to continue to try to get them to collaborate and pour into our community. But, it's just been a huge learning experience. I'm learning, like we host master classes as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. But I'm learning from each and every one of these master classes that we're hosting and these masterminds that we're having, and talking about our businesses, the challenges we're going through. Like, I'm a student as well as trying to facilitate this whole thing. So, that's one thing I'm just trying to continue to do, is to continue to learn, because the more that I learn is the more that I'm going to be able to also contribute and to teach the community. So I'm learning a ton. To answer your question, it's hard to, pinpoint it to one thing, but I'm learning a ton as far as entrepreneurship and business goes. What's
been the biggest epiphany or learning that has come from either building it or networking with others in the group that you've created? Like, what's been the biggest aha moment that's kind of leading you further down your path to entrepreneurship?
Well, I guess one kind of aha moment is that I really didn't so when we were going through these things, when we were struggling in business, we had no guidance, we had no mentors, we were just kind of alone on that journey. I mean, and now that I look back at it, it makes sense, but I really didn't know so many people went through that. I kind of just thought we were alone on that journey. And that's how a lot of entrepreneurs feel. They feel alone while they're going through their journey. So it was an epiphany for me when after a while, a lot of people started reaching out and they're like, look, we're in the same position you are. We're trying to connect and build connections. So I guess that was essentially an aha moment, because it was the first time that I realized that there are so many other people that crave these things. They crave valuable connections and resources. So
that's cool. So how have things been growing? Where are you guys at now? What does the overall structure or business model look like? I mean, it sounds like it's a monthly fee.
Yeah.
What all does this look like? How has growth been, and what can one expect if they were to join the membership?
For sure. So essentially how we went about the launch is we had a networking event that we put together for the launch of Arizona Entrepreneurs on October 1st. So we had about 93 people that registered and then 47 that showed up. And so throughout that, we used different breakout rooms and allowed people to network and meet other people. And then also we had the offer at the end and shared what we were offering this membership community for. So we had, and this was something that like, I didn't know if 50 people were going to join right off the top, or if it was going to be like 2 people. So I really didn't know what kind of response I was going to get from everybody. And so we have that first networking event, and then one person signs up, and I was like, man, like I thought it was going to be a lot of people. So one person signs up, then the next day another person signs up, and then the next day another person signs up. And then since then we're at about 12 members right now. Okay. So I didn't know if it was going to be, like I said, 50 people off the launch, or if it was going to be more of a trickle effect. So it's taken some time to build it, but there's nothing wrong with that, because really one thing that's important to me is cultivating a culture where everybody's there for the right reasons. They're there to grow in their business and to meet like-minded people, to level up. what I'm trying to avoid is creating a culture where it's all about what can I get, take.
Yeah.
Like I don't want people to just be there to sell their services, because that's not at all what I'm trying to build. So and, it's taken a little bit of time, but I'm realizing, like, at first I was kind of like, shoot, man, like only one person signed up.
Yeah.
But now I'm really realizing, like, each one of those are a win. And the fact that now 12 people know about it, it's going to continue to grow as more people hear about it. And we continue to provide value to those people that are in the group. And I kind of understood that because there's very few early adopters.
Yeah.
So having that core group of people that were on it from the very beginning, that's what's going to continue to build that traction. So yeah, no, I feel like, we're slowly growing, and we're going to continue to build this thing up. What was your other question?
I think you pretty much answered everything. Okay. Really, I guess one of the questions that I still have a question on is, if I were to sign up right now, what does the first month look like?
That's what it was. Okay. So, as far as what the membership consists of, so right now we have weekly masterminds. We're still playing with that, whether they're going to be bi-weekly or weekly. But they're masterminds to where we hop on a call. It's all virtual right now, Zoom, and we're planning some in-person events down the road, but just to make sure we're good with compliance and everything, we're being hesitant on that. So right now it's weekly masterminds. So we hop on a Zoom call, talk about our challenges within business, areas that we can help each other grow, our wins for the week, and really just we're like I said, cultivating an environment to where we can help each other bounce ideas off each other and help each other level up in our businesses. We have monthly master classes, and that's what I was referring to, where we're bringing on entrepreneurs and people who have achieved that success to come on and to teach our community on different subjects. So our first one, we brought on Paul along, and he taught on mindset and personal branding. So he taught different tactics about maintaining the right mindset throughout entrepreneurship and personal branding tactics to growing your personal brand. We have an accountability partner feature where we pair people up. Like, cool. They can request an accountability partner, and we pair them up and give them some guidelines to grow that relationship and be held accountable throughout their journey. The Vault, which is our course module. So we're continuing to bring on different entrepreneurs to create video content and course modules that can help entrepreneurs in different areas of their business. And then the members group chat. And that's just where we're, communicating amongst each other, anything that comes up, any ideas, really just whatever, just being able to communicate with people who are, in our circle with like-minded people. So
that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. I think the one thing that really sticks out is the accountability. On some recent episodes, there's been people that have gotten business coaches and whatnot, really to help with that accountability piece. I didn't realize how big accountability really is. I grew up playing baseball. I'm just a big proponent of, if something needs to be done, you just go do it. I don't need someone to hold me accountable to do it. I kind of hold myself accountable. But why do you think accountability is such a big thing? One, it's super powerful, but two, it's something that I think a lot of people are looking for. So did you notice that, or is that just kind of happen naturally within the courses?
I feel like it's kind of a combination of things. So I feel like throughout entrepreneurship, you're really the only one holding yourself accountable. If you're working a typical job, typically you have someone who's telling you the things you need to do, and you're held accountable that way. So it's very important, like when you're starting your own business and you're an entrepreneur, that you have that accountability and support. So that's why in my first business, or in my first couple of businesses, I had a business partner. So we held each other accountable. Like, dude, we got to do this today. We got to do this. But when you're kind of going at things alone, and even if you have a business partner, it's still very important to have that external accountability and people who are making sure you're getting the things done that you promise you're going to get done. Because it's very easy, when you're the only person holding yourself accountable, it's a lot easier to slack on some things and not get things that you promise to get done. So.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree. And it's not even just finding someone that's an accountability partner. It's someone that has that's like-minded, exactly. You kind of have to have that synergy, but I think having that checks and balances keeps you in touch and kind of keeps you on that path, because it is very easy to give something 200% for 10 days. And after a while you kind of burn out. Exactly. And it's kind of, hey, you're going too hard, come down, and just kind of have that outside perspective. I think the perspective and kind of just the thoughts, I think, help keep people on that path. And I think that's why what you're creating is so powerful, because I think entrepreneurship, it was actually on that entrepreneurs that we had recently, where there's been a decline for the longest time in new business creation here in America. And recently with the pandemic, it's exploded. And so I think entrepreneurship is only getting more popular. People like Gary Vee and all that, you need to help pushing it. But I think the barrier to entry is just so much lower now than what it used to be. But knowing that there's a lot of people that are seeking experience and all that. And that's really what your platform is really doing.
For sure. Yeah, no, I feel like it's super important because I keep referring back to this, but like when me and my buddy started, we didn't have any support or anything to help us throughout that journey. And what I'm trying to build is what I wish that I had at the time. Like, because if I was able to connect with like-minded people who are already in entrepreneurship and doing that stuff, and then also get resources, learn from entrepreneurs and big name people who have already done it, like I feel like that would have completely cut the learning curve down. So I know this is something that is going to be very valuable to people. And as we continue to build it and bring on big time people, I know this is something that so many people need. So that's why I'm so passionate about bringing it to reality and making it the best it can be.
Yeah, no, love everything about that. And the first person that you had on the mastermind group teaching mindset, I think that's such a powerful thing. I think mindset is almost everything. I mean, it's what helps you get up in the morning and get you through the day. You mentioned you had a couple failures. I mean, what some people call failures, but I think they were great learning opportunities that helped you create what you have today. But keeping in line with the mindset, I mean, how did you keep a strong mindset to push on to the next business? And even if it didn't work out the way you expected it, to then move on. I mean, what was that process like? How did you stay strong-minded to keep creating?
Yeah. And I feel like what it comes down to is I just have a very, very strong belief in myself. So when and this like applies to like my entire life, when I said I was going to play college football, like whenever I say I'm going to do something, like regardless what other people think, like internally, it's very important to me to bring that to fruition. So I feel like, even in this, a lot of entrepreneurs face this when they're going about their journey and they have this big vision for what their business can be. It's hard to articulate that vision and get other people to see that. But like when there's nothing tangible, when it's all an idea, like a lot of people are like, come on, buddy, like chill out with those big goals. So, one thing that, even when I couldn't get other people to see my vision, like I feel like I have a very strong belief system. And when I truly believe in a vision and something that I'm trying to pursue, it's just a matter of time before I make it happen. And like I said, like I went through all those failures. So, and I don't really consider them failures because I learned from each one. But, even though that exact thing that I wasn't doing, even though the videography company wasn't the thing that brought me to that success, and the lead generation company wasn't that thing, that the vehicle that brought me to success, I knew ultimately it was just a matter of narrowing that down and finding what it is that I'm passionate about. And then, that's what's going to do it. So it's very tough going through those things. I mean, there was a lot of moments of doubt. I'm not just trying to act like things were all perfect. And in my mind, I knew exactly where I was going. But I feel like it's very important to have a strong belief system and to truly believe in the vision and the things that you're pursuing. Because if you don't believe in it, nobody's going to believe in it. Like it's 100% up to you. So
absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head, and it comes down to perspective. It's something happened. You can either look at it as, oh man, I failed and get discouraged, or it's like, oh, sweet, it just wasn't meant to be, but there's something that I learned, and now I'm just that much closer to what I want to be. And I think it all just comes down to how you really look at each situation. And I think, going into like-minded people, it's easy to get discouraged. And I think having that accountability helps. Hey, no, you're fine. You're going to learn something. It helps with that positivity to prevent that beating yourself up, I think is the big piece.
I agree.
Yeah. So been talking a lot about just, how you've been building this. Really, one thing that I like that you said is the social media, trying to reach people. You don't have, tons of posts yet and everything like that. I think a lot of people try and focus on the one post that's going to do it. Have you seen that there's been one post that helped you guys do it, or has it been just consistent posting that's kind of helped build that credibility or that social proof?
I would say yes to both things almost, because it's 100% consistency and continuing to put out things out there. And one thing that really worked for us was like collaborating with different entrepreneurs. We do those entrepreneur highlights. So that builds credibility when we have, entrepreneurs and different people that are highlighted on our page. That makes people feel more comfortable in the content they're consuming, knowing that they see different faces. So that's what I was going to say. As far as that one post, I wouldn't say it's one post, but the posts that seem to perform the best are when there are faces on it, whether it be somebody else's faces, when I put my face on there, say a little bit about my story. So I guess that's one tip. I feel like people, and this is all people, because when I'm consuming content, it's the same way. People want to see, authenticity in a real face and who's behind the entire thing. So at first I was just trying to make it look all like corporate, like this legit business. And I realized like, I got to have fun with this, put my face out there and really like show who I am. Otherwise people aren't going to vibe with that. So Yeah. So I feel like it's, important to put your face out there, but also it's a long game. So consistency is the most important thing, constantly putting out content out there.
So did you actually see a difference in engagement and reach and all that when you were trying to be super perfect and corporate and all that compared to just show the behind the scenes? I mean, did you actually see a difference?
Oh, 100%. Like there's a few posts where I like put my face on there and talk a little bit about my story, things like that. And those posts by far always outperform any other like quotes or things I put out there like that. So
yeah, that's awesome. Cause it's everyone's trying to strive for that perfection, but I think it's the what really works is not being perfect and really being vulnerable and just showing your day to day. And I think that people resonate with that because it's no one's leading a perfect life and everyone's misleading each other by showing just perfection. And I love that you're actually seeing a noticeable difference in the data. So when it comes to, mentioning stories and humanizing the brand, what are some stories that you've heard from other entrepreneurs that have been going through, what you've created? I know it's early on, but any good success stories?
So I mean, so like as far as the membership goes, so like there's been, so we've had two masterminds. Our third one will be on this coming Wednesday, so tomorrow. And after the second mastermind, we talked about our wins for the week, or at the beginning of the mastermind, we talked about our wins for the week, things that went well. And like two people from the group already said that someone else from the group recommended a person, like connected them with another person. So like one of them had an in-person meeting. It was a real estate connection and they might be doing business together. The other one had someone they got connected with that was a marketing person that could completely help change their business with their online presence. So just like, that is so fulfilling to me because like I said, I'm just kind of trying to facilitate this thing and put people together. But now that people are helping each other throughout challenges, helping connect each other and bring people together, like that's one of the most fulfilling things. So it might be a small win, but being 3 weeks into business and already seeing people helping each other out and things that might change their business, like that means the world to me.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. So what are you guys doing now? I mean, you're obviously picking up some traction. You're getting some paid members. That's huge. Kudos to you. How are you guys leveraging these good stories and what you guys are doing to grow the brand? Like, what are you guys working on now? Because I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of business owners really look towards. They have a great product, but how are they growing the brand?
For sure. And I mean, there's a few things that we're working on, and I'm still trying to learn all this and soak this in myself and figure out the best strategies, what works. So, right now we're doing a lot with, well, one, as far as the membership goes, we're continuing to try to build that out, build the system around that, and bring on people who can just pour into this community because, if we have Robert Kiyosaki teaching on one of our masterminds, it's going to be a lot more valuable. So it's really about finding those collaboration pieces and people who can contribute to the community. But in addition to that, as far as growing it, it's just about finding different strategies and things that work. So we're, just launched a Facebook group that we're trying to get some traction on that because I feel like that could be a great way to provide value to people and show them more about the membership. We're talking about doing some free monthly or biweekly. And as far as the time frames, as far as doing these events, we're still creating the structure and figuring that all out. So we're doing some more free events because like I said, that first one that we had for the launch, that's when we got some traction and people joined the membership. So some more free things that we can, offer because we feel like that's going to help people to see what we're offering and bring them into the membership. Continuing to put out content and like we were just talking about, continuing to build more of a face and a personal touch around that content. Trying to get some testimonial stories and just there's so many different areas that we're trying to figure out, what's the best area to go and kind of go double down on that. So we've tried Facebook ads, like we're trying everything. There's no perfect plan we have. We're just trying to see what works and then going all in.
How are you guys going about that? Because I think, again, that's what a lot of people, business owners suffer with is like, all right, I got these 3,000 things I could be doing. And how are you guys prioritizing that? Because I mean, we struggle, every business struggles with it. So I always love getting others' insight and how they are prioritizing what they think is going to push the business the quickest, because that's ultimately what everyone wants. Or what are the activities I can do that's going to excel growth the quickest? Sure. And so how do you guys go about that process?
Yeah, as far as prioritizing, one way is, trial and error. So figuring out what does work. But like you said, you can't just have your focus on all of these things because then you're going to dilute yourself. So one thing's trial and error, but also we're kind of focusing on our free community. So whether that be the free Facebook group, the free events that we put on, because we feel like if we're if we're offering something for free, allowing people to kind of see what we have going on with Arizona entrepreneurs, they're going to gravitate more towards it because they want more. They want to see more what we have to offer. So that's the big thing, is working on that, developing that free community, and really just Instagram. That's where we're like thriving. That's where we have the most engagement and people engaging with our stuff. So we feel like we're continuing to try to come up with strategies and things that work with Instagram, reaching out, DMing people. But we're, like I said, we're not perfect. We're figuring this all out on the go. So we're trying to figure out what the best strategy is for our business and what we need to be implementing right now. But to answer your question, we are kind of just figuring it out as we go.
A couple weeks old as well. I mean, are you guys focusing more on trying to grow the membership, or are you guys putting any focus on trying to get more experts to kind of come in? Because I think you could have tons of opportunity, because if you bring in great experts, they're going to give knowledge that people want. That's going to attract the people.
For sure.
You, with your guys' video editing background, I mean, granted, you're maybe not doing Hollywood videos or anything like that, but you could do something. I mean, you have a platform of people that are wanting to get knowledge. If you reach out and just say, hey, I'm trying to build a community where people are wanting knowledge. I mean, it could be lead generation for you, but you guys could do something where you record the video and you guys do a little bit of post-production, make it look cool, so that you're giving someone a piece of content that would incentivize them to say yes. So it's like you guys are taking some of the skills you guys have learned in the past, put them on a platform, they can then get leads. And not only that, you're giving them free content. You're going to get more people saying yes. And as you build out your portfolio, we got mindset, we got financials, we got digital marketing, we got all these different types of things. As you build that up and get more yeses there, I'm assuming more people would come in and be willing to pay a little bit higher price because you're getting higher talented expertise. So, I mean, are you guys focusing more on your outreach and everything, trying to grow the membership, or are you guys doing anything on the...
I mean, we're kind of in between with both. Like, so we have built a little team. So it's as far as getting on talent and bringing on leading experts to teach this community. So we're continuing to collaborate with people and try to get people to teach our community, but also in the same time, we're working on building that membership, because it kind of plays hand in hand, because as we continue to grow this community, it's going to be more valuable to the leading experts to come teach us. So, I mean, we're doing both at once, and we're probably going to continue to do that way. But I think that's a great point, like, offering some sort of value, whether that's creating some video content, but just doing whatever we can to get on, those big name entrepreneurs, because they are going to attract more people, like you said. Yeah,
because to your point, and they're going to be like, well, how big's the audience? And you got 11, like, I got other people that want, at 3,000 that I can get in front of and stuff like that. And that's where I think, all right, cool. Well, everyone today knows that I need more content. Everyone's always wanting more content. So if that's the value add, it's like, it's not big now, but we'll always have your content that people can see and reach out to. But if that's the thing that gets someone to say yes, is like, as you're doing this, we'll record it and give you some clips that you can use in your own marketing. That might entice someone that is a bigger name to actually say yes. But no, that's awesome. I think you guys are doing all the right things and hitting both audiences. And I think you do need both in order to really grow this.
Definitely.
So what are the big plans that you guys have kind of right now? What are in the works? What are your guys' goals the next 6 months? Are you looking to make this more national? Are you looking to get more vertical specific? Are you looking to, what does that look like for you guys? Yeah.
So right now, I mean, we're really working on one, like I said, creating that system around the membership. And like you said, we're going to be able to charge more once we bring on bigger people to speak and continue to provide more value within the membership. So that's one big thing we're emphasizing on within the next 6 months, is just doubling down on the membership, making sure we can provide the most value. But we have plans to make different tiers and different packages, have like a high level VIP package. And we have a lot of different ideas as far as the packages we want to create, because we feel like there is different levels to where, as far as things you might want from the membership. Maybe I just want the mastermind, but maybe I want to meet in person with Robert Kiyosaki, So, I mean, so I feel like that's super important, is creating the system around that membership. But also, in addition to that, in-person events. I mean, I like Zoom is scalable, and it's an easy way to kind of facilitate these things. But I feel like, me personally, and I feel like most people, they prefer in person. They want to meet people face to face. So, and I know it's kind of difficult right now, but we're working around things, and we're planning an event for November, an in-person event. But we really want to start to get into some of those bigger in-person events if we're allowed to, some like seminars, conventions, things along those lines. I mean, there's literally so many ideas, because even the running trade shows and things along that line.
Yeah.
I might do that under Arizona Entrepreneurs because it's, entrepreneurs here in Arizona where they could have a booth and host their trade show. I don't know if that's exactly in the 6 months, but that's a down the road plan I want to implement. But ultimately, we're really trying to position ourselves as the entrepreneur hub here in Arizona. We want people to, regardless, what stage they're at in business, if they live in Arizona, they want to be a part of Arizona Entrepreneurs because that's where you're connecting with people. That's where you're bringing your business to the next level. So as far as the different things we're implementing, we have different ideas and plans for that, but we just want to, like I said, position ourselves that way so we're able to impact and change lives at a major scale here in Arizona.
No, that's awesome. I mean, it's like Arizona Entrepreneurs could be a holding company. There could be so many different things under it. I mean, between the in-person events, the virtual events, the mentoring, the accountability, I mean, you could almost turn it into so many different little businesses and literally cater to what people's needs are. As you guys are learning more, I mean, you guys are gonna be sitting on tons of data that you can learn what the pulse is of Arizona entrepreneurs and really bring a ton of value.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, is there anything that we kind of left out? I mean, that you were really wanting to share? I mean, when it outside of that, when it comes to, I mean, Arizona entrepreneurs, what are you seeing in Arizona at the business level?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's there's entrepreneurs all across the board. I mean, there's very big time entrepreneurs here in Arizona. Like, I feel like this is definitely a hub and there's a lot of people here starting businesses, but there's also people who are just starting off and they have no guidance. So with Arizona Entrepreneurs, we want to be able to appeal to either end of the spectrum, because even if you're doing 10 million a year, maybe you're not leveraging social media. You might meet someone in that mastermind that can help you with a different area of business. Now you're doing 15. Like, regardless what stage you're at, there's always something you're leaving on the table. So we want to be able to cater to this entire spectrum of entrepreneurs. But right now, it's more to the startup, to the person who's like in business but trying to scale. Yeah. So as I was kind of discussing before, we have to continue to add different tiers and things that apply to different people, regardless what stage they're at. But I mean, I just see entrepreneur. I just feel like everybody's an entrepreneur here in Arizona. Yeah. It almost feels that way. Like, so many people I talk to are trying to start a business. And like you said, like, since COVID happened, like the entrepreneurship and people starting businesses is just going up. So I feel like a lot of that's going on here in Arizona, and people want to be their own boss, live life on their own terms. Like, so many people have that dream. So ultimately, we just want to be able to help people bring that to reality.
Love it. And I mean, is there anything else that wanna share, tell the world, anything that we didn't touch on either within the business or your guys' goals at all?
I mean, as far as within the business, just goals, like I said, we just really want to position ourselves as the entrepreneur hub. We want to have, like, as far as our 5-year goals, I think it is like 20,000 members within the Arizona Entrepreneurs membership. Cool. And that's not going to be that's not going to be the only layer of the business. Like you said, maybe Arizona Entrepreneurs is the holding company, but within the membership, or as far as people who are within our community, we want at least 20,000 people. And that might seem like a lofty goal, but I bet there's millions of entrepreneurs here in Arizona. Like, this is truly a hub of people trying to make it happen. So, we just want to, I already touched on this before, but we really want to make an impact at a major scale. And I guess one thing to touch on is, I feel like, and I won't name drop or say anything, but I feel like there's so many organizations and entrepreneur organizations already that exist today. And I went to a lot of different events when we first moved here, but it definitely feels like outdated and old school. And it almost feels like the whole intention of these are like, what can I get? Like, my name's Devin, this is my business. So who's sending business my way? Like, and I want to create a different vibe to where it's like, we're all here for each other's benefit, and we're all here to help each other grow in business. Like, I'm not just here for me. I also want to help you with your business. I might know someone, I might be able to connect you with someone. So, really the culture we're trying to cultivate is, helping each other throughout our journeys, because it's going to be reciprocated. You're going to get it back to you. So, man, that's really the goal, is just creating that culture where we're all leveling up together and achieving our goals.
No, that's cool, because I think I couldn't agree more. I think you hit the nail on the head. Where, I mean, it sounds like it's a networking group, but it's V2. Like, everything that's out there is version 1, and it's like, all right, let's get people from other industries. Let's refer business, and it's just more of a how can we refer business rather than how can we help each other build a business. Like, it's not always just lead generation. It could be, I need help with my accounting, or I need help with HR, or whatever that may be. And it's more learning from each other's either mistakes or history or wisdom wisdom, whatever that may be. And like I said, I think it's almost the new version of a networking group. And I think it's a much better version because, to your point, it's, I've been to quite a few networking groups and they're just outdated. It's all, how, anyone that's looking for a home, or anyone that's looking for digital marketing. That's all it is. It's just passing cards back and forth, and no one truly, it doesn't seem like people truly care about actually helping someone else's business grow. Just here's more leads. Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big thing with networking is, well, there's a right and wrong way to go about networking. Obviously what we're talking about is kind of the wrong way. Just, hey, anybody selling a house, here's my card. But like what we're trying to create is where we're actually building genuine relationships where you and I are actually good friends, and I'm trying to help your business and bring you to the next level. And that's going to be passed back to me. So like, that's really important to us, is just making sure that, the people who are involved with us know our intentions and what we're about, and that the whole intention is to grow alongside of each other.
Yeah. Awesome. No, this has been great. And really the last piece I would have is, you've helped start a couple different businesses. You're helping other startups, entrepreneurs in Arizona start. I mean, what's the biggest piece of advice that you'd have for someone that is just starting out? You know what? I had that epiphany. I want to start my own business. I want to be my own boss. What's the biggest piece of advice that you'd have for them?
One is to just jump, because I feel like so many people that have these analysis paralysis essentially. And I had that first when I was starting off, where I'm like, I want to start this business. What do I do this? Like, there's just so much knowledge out there, especially, with the digital right now. So I feel like it's very important to just go after it and figure it out as it goes. And that's kind of what I did with Arizona Entrepreneurs. My mentor told me, he's like, you got to draw a line in the sand, and after that date, you got to launch. And because at first I was just like, had the Instagram page. I was like, I don't know. I don't think people would pay for this. And then he said that, and I was like, all right, October 1st, it was about 2 months out. I was like, October 1st, I'm launching regardless. Yeah. And the time came about 2 days before. I'm scrambling and whatnot, but I made a promise to myself. I was putting it out there, like October 1st is when we're launching. And I had that event filling up like 93 people. I didn't know if I was ready for the event. I was like, man, but if I wouldn't have just jumped and just went for it, I would have, took way too long just trying to figure it out and perfect it and everything. So I feel like it's important to not just constantly, have analysis paralysis thinking about things, is just to go after it and see what happens, figure it out along the way. And, so I feel like that's very important. And also just, having that belief system and believing in yourself while you're doing it, because like I said before, if you don't believe in it, nobody else is going to. So you have to have a strong belief in your vision and where you're going, what you're trying to pursue.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. Love the analysis paralysis. Happens way too much. So much opportunity is left on the table because of it. And so, I love everything that you had mentioned. I love what you're doing. I love that you're helping Arizona entrepreneurs. And so those out there that, if you're an Arizona entrepreneur, look Devin up. Devin, how can they find you?
Yeah. So like I said, we're most active on Instagram. So our Instagram handle is just Arizona Entrepreneurs, at Arizona Entrepreneurs. And then our website is www.arizonaentrepreneurs.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Devin Butler. I'm on Instagram. I think it's Devin Ray Butler. I don't even know my own Instagram handle. But connect with us wherever. Shoot us a DM. Connect with us. We're always looking to continue to learn about people's businesses and see however we can help, whether that's with the membership or maybe there's another way we can help. So we're all about helping small businesses reach their goals.
Awesome. Devin, really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Looking forward to watching your growth.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.